of time to stream, so this isn't going to be a full league or anything, but I just wanted to give an example. I've been talking about, when we're doing this linear regression series, I've been talking about vile humans and collected company humans. So this was probably the most recent concise list I've found for collected company humans, because vile humans has certainly been the dominating presence. Major difference between this and some of the other older lists that I showed is they have the Knight of the Reliquary, Retreat to Coral Helm, Kessig Wolf Run combo in your deck. Basically, you get a Knight into play on top with it with Retreat to Coral Helm. This allows you to, whenever you play a land, untap a creature. It's basically you're tapping your Knight, going to go to another land, untapping your Knight, and then for fetch lands, you're getting 2 activations off of this. So you can basically cycle through as many fetch lands and stuff as you have in your deck, getting mana along the way, and then generally using like a large Kessig Wolf run to finish off the game. Allows you to like use any one of your random Dorkos that they'd have been blocked to just kill them out of nowhere, in addition to the normal human beatdown plan. This list suffers from a little bit less interaction in the main deck. You don't have as many Thalias, you don't have any meddling mages or anything like that. So this is more of a linear aggression thing than even normal 5-color humans. This particular list is still running Mayor of Averbrook. This is a list from an October article on Channel Fireball that I will link in the description on our YouTube channel. Beyond that, got the mana base to play a 4-color deck. It's basically Bant in the main deck. There are no red cards other than Kessig Wolf Run. And then the sideboard, you have a smattering of good cards. You have Burrington Fortender for Burn decks and sweepers, Blessed Alliance for Burn and Death Shadow, either Sworn Canonist for Storm decks, Stony Silences for Affinity and Lantern, Thalia for spell-based decks, Unified Will as counter spells. Generally speaking, you're going to bring this in again matchups where you're going to have more creatures on the board, so stuff like Valakut, Control, that kind of stuff. Tireless Tracker for grindy matchups, Izzet Statcaster for smaller creature decks, and Vithian Renegades as your hedge against some of the other artifacts that you actually need to blow up, like Ensnaring Bridge. So that being said, I do not have a ton of time this morning, so we're just going to do a couple of heads-up cues this morning. I just wanted to give an example of what this deck is like playing out. I don't know if this is a deck we're seriously going to consider for the channel, but I just wanted to show that humans as an archetype, there's a lot of wiggle room and a lot of different things going on. So that said, this hand has no 1-drop. We do have Path on 1, which is generally not a card we want on 1. Is this a hand we can realistically keep? I think we can do better. This hand is actually, in some regards, worse, but we're going to go ahead and keep it. We do have Champion on 1, but not much follow-up, so perhaps we should have kept our, especially against Jund. Oh yeah, should have kept the Threat Dense Heavy Hand. Ghost Quarter. Alright, well, let them know what's up right away. So, I mean, one positive note of this particular build is we do have Collected Company and Eternal Witness, so we do have a lot more resilience, but this particular hand is definitely not it. There are a wide variety of lists. Okay. Dank Confidant, gonna be a problem. Because we don't even have Path to go deal with it, so possible we should have kept our other one. Though we are on the draw, and that hand didn't feel aggressive enough. Past our opponent will fetch on their end step. Especially with no answer to this Confidant, we're really going to get just probably run out of the gym on this one. Liliana of the Veil. Nope, Tarmogoyf. Alright. It's pretty bad when even Dark Confidant's, for the most part, bigger than our dudes. Alright, fetch here on end step, save us a little bit of life. Let's go ahead and grab Temple Garden here. Another champion. You're a day late and $1 short. So this turn, I think we just go ahead and go. It's very easily could have Fatal Push up here. No reason to get red mana here. I think we just get our hallowed fountain. Our hallowed fountain. White, blue, Reflector Mage, this stupid Tarmogoyf. Just start trying to push damage. If they have Fatal Push, they have Fatal Push here. We need to follow up to our 1-drop, so get this stupid Goyf out of the way. Yep, no Fatal Push or anything, so. Or they do, and they just. Okay. Why would you. I don't know. Why would you bolt Reflector Mage there? Huntmaster of the Fells. Yep, this game's getting increasingly difficult to win. And discard a card. Oh, trust me, we have cards to discard. Figured they'd want to get on the board with something like Huntmaster here. Oh well. See if we draw like Collected Company or here, something here. We'll play out Champion, but we're just so far behind right now. We get Basic Forest. Like I said, we'll play one more turn after this one. Go grab, I'm bringing back here, probably just Reflector Mage. We'll play one more turn after this one if we hit like Collected Company or something, but this game is just going to continue to spiral out of control for us, so. And we're not particularly pressuring our opponent very hard. This is a game where we need to be pressuring very, very, very fast, especially on the draw. Sometimes, sometimes the human decks just don't come together. You are still a synergy-based aggro deck, even if your synergy is a little more individually cohesive than something like Affinity. And this is a little bit older list. This is a list that's probably, what, October, so 3 months old now? Yeah, sure. Get to take our Reflector Mage that you knew about. Probably Huntmaster now. I mean, that said, if we draw Collected Company, we're not in horrible shape. But that's basically our only out at this point. I mean, the board's nowhere near a parity, and they've got Avacyn's Pilgrim. Yeah, I think we're just going to go ahead and scoop. This is just going to get too far out of hand. Opponent just keeps drawing 2 cards a turn. We keep... Then they can start flipping their Hunt Master and just killing our creatures. So Retreat comes out in this matchup. Mayor comes out in this matchup. We want Thalia. We want Tireless Tracker. And I believe we also want Blessed Alliance. Sometimes get their Dorkos. So beyond that, I don't think... Forge Tender's fine if we see sweepers out of them. Actually, maybe I should bring in... This isn't Death Shadow, maybe I should bring in the Forge Tenders as kind of a hedge. Let's bring in 1 Forge Tender, 1 Blessed Alliance. Canonist, Unified Will. The rest of this stuff doesn't make any sense. Mayors are just bad in removal heavy matchups. That's why some of the Vile Humans lists have gone to Image. Because both Mayor and Image are horrible in removal heavy matchups, but Image at least gets you some value, generally speaking. Wow. This hand's great if we draw mana. If it's not, could be a royal mess. Alright, they mulligan the 6, keep their hand. So I think I'm going to lead on Noble Hierarch, hope they don't kill it. Alright, with that, land please. Ugh. So now they're kind of incentivized to kill our Dorkos. Terminate on the big guy. Yeah, I'm fine with this exchange. Land, please. Champion of the Parish. Dahlia. Just keep unloading. Alright, Confidant, sure. Land, please. I guess Noble Hierarchs sort of counts. The question becomes, am I just supposed to hit their Confidant here, or just keep trucking along as we are? Alright. Kolaghan's Command. So I guess I'm discarding a path here, sure. So our opponent's accepting they're just going to take a huge hit here. I think I'm just going to pass and Collected Company. I mean, there is some incentive to Collected Company main phase, but at this point, drop our opponent to 7, hold up Collected Company and pass. See what Confidant reveals. Oof. That's a rough one to hit. Gonna say, if that's their only play here, then... Yep. I don't think Confidant can attack here. Hopefully Collected Company is good to us. Reflector Mage plus Knight. I think that's a concession here. Yep. Alright, so that's how we kind of have to beat Jund. Just kind of run them out of the building before they can deploy all of their spells. That said, I don't think I particularly like Blessed Alliance in this matchup. I think that's more for Death Shadow, so I think I'm going to go ahead and bring in the second Forge Tender. We didn't see a sweeper out of them that game, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Plus, it can stop something like a K command or a... We either have all landers or no landers, it seems. This hand's alright. I'd like to see a land. Yep, land on top. No discard spell on one. Interesting. Yes. Excuse me. Forge Tender isn't the most interesting card, but it at least gives us something to do. Okay, there's Dank Confidant. Alright. Not having a play on to a couple of these games has probably put us very far behind, I think, so. Especially as Dank Confidant runs away with games. They're doing a pretty good job of hitting lands off their Confidant, that's for sure. Liliana here. Another Confidant. Alright. Get a blue source here. Probably... Do I need a second green source? I don't think so at the moment. Especially since I already have the forest, so... Thalia's Lieutenant would have been great last turn. Reflector Mage, get one of those Confidants back in your hand. Not like we're pushing a huge amount of damage here, but this is one of those hands we could conceivably grind them out, but Fatal Push, sure. They are seeing multiple cards a turn. We're only seeing one. Alright, just playing removal spells. So this curve out's almost perfect. We've got, well, relatively speaking, almost perfect. Pass. So now you have to decide what you're doing with your end step here. Possibly nothing. It's like a, alright. Man, they keep hitting lands. Pretty good for them. Take our hit from Confidant. Need a pretty good one here to... Alright, there's Confidant. What is their hand? It's gotta be like all removal spells and lands? Really love to hit, well, Eternal Witness is kind of a card I want to hit, but Avacyn's Pilgrim really isn't. Any order. Collected Company back to hand. Yeah, I'm going to be using that mana anyway this turn, so may as well. Probably don't want to attack with Forge Tender here. Mainly because... yeah, sure. This is where having the old build I had that had like 3 copies of Eternal Witness, 3 copies of Mirran Crusader was just insane in a matchup like this. Gotta start hitting spells at some point. Alright, there's a Liliana of the Veil, which isn't at its best. Tarmogoyf, which is annoying. Especially since I'm sure it's a pretty good sized one at this point. Alright, 3/4 Goyf. So they're not playing Liliana. You're attacking with your Confidants. No, I think we're just going to let the damage through. Go 7. I mean, this is very tempting to try to collect a company and take these guys out, but... Go 6 here. You have the bolt to finish us off. Bolts. Nope. Collected Company, Reflector Mage, and Forge Tender. Ugh. And then the stack is getting really annoying. Tarmogoyf. Coolagon's Command on that, huh? Alright, and we got Bajun there. Pretty sweet. So that definitely showed what the deck is capable of when it wants to grind out. Oh crap. I'm not recording this correctly. Oh well. Can always transfer it over later. We're going to play one more match here this morning. Yeah, I'm still on recording for World of Warcraft instead of Magic the Gathering, but fortunately I can download it from Twitch. How's everyone doing this morning? My name is Dusk for MTG Tavern here on Twitch, and Dusk Till Dawn Gaming on YouTube, playing some a little bit old school Collected Company humans. So this hand has the same problem as our hand game 1 against Jund. It's all 3-drops. We don't know if this is a slower deck, so we have to throw it back. This hand is horrible, but I think between Horizon Canopy and the Scry, we'll go ahead and keep it. Bottom path, because we don't know if path's relevant. Arid Mesa pass. I'm not entirely sure here. I think I'm going to go fetch a basic forest on the off chance this is something like Red, White, Sun and Moon. Could also be Burn. The foiled out I would tend to guess Burn, but there's a couple different things that could be here. Still could be either deck. Probably more likely Burn with this many fetches. Nope. Blood Moon. Turn to Nahiri. Alright, well, we identified the correct deck. So this is going to be fun. They're discarding Wrath of God. That's scary. Alright, so I'm now faced with a conundrum. If they're discarding Wrath of God, does that mean they have... screw it. I gotta go for the damage here on Nahiri. I suspect this is a horrible matchup, but... just because they have a billion sweepers. I mean, they could easily go, like, Mountain... What the heck is this? Chalice of the Void on 1. Which I have Cavern of Souls, so that does absolutely nothing. Opponent burned a lot of resources to get that Nahiri into play. So, put a card on top and then draw, discard. Alright, get rid of Gideon here. Collected Company. So this is a really awkward tension. Their deck plays so many sweepers. Blood Moon? Sure. Is that really the card you kept on top? So Blood Moon is a lot less effective against this version of the deck. So another Blood Moon, sure. I don't know why, for some reason, that whatever just screamed, wow, that was a very bad Collected Company. Attack everything at Nahiri. Because Nahiri. Alright, Halpalcatha transforms. If you have a sweeper, we're pretty dead here. Anger of the Gods after all that. Alright. So I can't cast 1-drops, I can't cast most of my spells. I mean, Knight would be great here, but I can't cast it. So we're both kind of twiddling our thumbs till somebody finds some action. I think I only have one basic planes in the deck, so I can't cast Mana Dorks. Well, that's a card I can cast at least. But there's a decent chance their hand's like something like Sweeper, Sweeper. Alright, so Knight and Noble. Any order. And Lightning Helix to kill anything relevant. Alright, so basically I can only... So white, that. Sacrifice that. Go get a forest. Play out Knight here. And if they have Wrath of God, we pretty much just lose on the spot. Yeah, this game was fun. Alright. So the all sweeper and planeswalker deck versus the all creature deck. Seems good. Alright, so in this matchup we want Tireless Tracker, the Unified Wills. We want Thalia, the Vithian Renegades, and the Forge Tenders, and Reflector Mage is pure hot trash. Retreat to Coralhelm is cute, too cute for this matchup, and probably the last one cuts a Mirror of Aberbrook. And our creature count's still pretty high. Actually, Path to Exile is pretty trashy too. Really only kills Gideon in their deck. Sometimes they have like random creatures, but I think Gideon is the one card we're sort of worried about here. You're just supposed to get both pass out of here and get the retreats back in. Canonist hurts us way more than it even hurts them. So, retreat. I still need to get one more card back in the deck. I guess a Reflector Mage. Not a matchup you see a ton. I mean, I was able to recognize, fortunately, what the matchup was, but it was still... See, like, hands like this, you know, I mean, I have to keep this, but it's just like, this hand's not good. Put a card on top. Alright, I mean, we've got Thalia's Lieutenants. And they've got board sweepers, so this feels really bad against board sweepers. Guess we just go ahead and play out a Mare, even though it's horrible in this matchup. Do want to be pressuring our opponent as much as possible. Probably just an anger of the gods or something here. Blood Moon, sure. So how much am I supposed to play into a sweeper here? The other realistic question is can I even beat a sweeper? Probably not. I mean, obviously their sweeper is probably Wrath of God at this point, so... If it happens to be Anger, we're good, but I suspect it's just Wrath of God. Yep. Pass. Chandra, Killer Man, Idiot. Nope. Well, probably Anger of the God. Nope, Lightning Helix. And... Cast Mare. Pass. Sure. Nahiri. Blood Moon. And Noble Hierarch. Alright, so... quick thoughts on the deck. Certainly going to play this particular build again more later. I just wanted to get a quick stream in here before work. Obviously, you saw from our Jund matchup that it can grind through removal and even multiple Dark Confidants. Collected Company plus Eternal Witness is a very powerful combination in grindier matchups. Certain builds of the deck of this particular style with Collected Company and stuff have run multiple copies of Mirror Crusader, which is obviously good against the Black-Green X Death Shadow decks. So once again, the theme with the Humans decks is there is a huge amount of flexibility. You have the 5-color Ether Vial version, you've got Collected Company, you've got this variation, then you have the variation that is the black splash instead of the red splash. I can show that here in a second. So what this deck games is the ability to combo with Retreat to Coral Helm and some light counter spells. The black version, now this is a slightly older list, but Humans, where are you? There you go. This version, like I said, was during the heyday of Death Shadow when it was at its strongest, so this deck is heavily slanted towards that end. But you still have a lot of the same key cards. This deck was playing the 4 main deck Thalias, which this may just be correct. I think Yul Larson's list excused from that because you have Retreat to Coral Helm, because you have a combo element to the deck, so it's not necessarily is needing to grind as hard. So, I mean, there's a lot of flexibility. I mean, you want some number of Thalias, you want some number of... I mean, your basic core, your Champion the Parish, Path to Exile, Noble Hierarch, Thalia's Lieutenant, you know, that's the basic core of the deck. You know, some number of Reflector Mages, some number of Eternal Witnesses. And it's just a matter of, do you want Ether Vial as your second mana dork? Do you want Avacyn's Pilgrim in a Collected Company? So there's a lot of interchangeability, a lot of flexibility in the Humans deck. It's a very aggressive deck. You can shift it towards hating on the combo elements. You can shift it towards playing a better fair game. You can shift it towards being aggressive as possible. It's probably a turn 4.5 deck on its good draws. So, I mean, it's got the speed, it's got the disruption. It has all the tools to be one of the stronger decks in Modern. It's not like Burn or Affinity in terms of a linear deck. I don't want to say it's more towards a Hate Bear's end of the deck, but you can build it either more like a Hate Bear style strategy where you're a little bit slower but disruptive, or you can build it towards almost a pure aggression deck. So it's not as shoehorned in as Burn or Affinity in terms of what its role is in most matchups, but it's still a synergy deck. So you have to balance synergy with disruption, and the mana is tricky because you either have to have the fetch land mana base for the Collected Company version, or you have the 12 5-color lands and you're even more vulnerable to Blood Moon. So there's a lot of like decision points both in gameplay and in the actual factual like cards in your deck. So there's a lot of there's a lot of choice with humans in Modern. So I think that's a deck that's worth exploring when we're trying to figure out what decks we're narrowing the channel down to pretty much. This is a deck that certainly you've got like 4 or 5 different variations of it, 6 different variations. It's not unlike Eldrazi in that regard, but I think it's a little less reliant on things like Eldrazi Temple or the Urza Trower lands. So I think it might be a more consistent deck than the Eldrazi decks, but maybe not quite as powerful. So like I said, I'm comparing it to a lot of different decks, but Humans is kind of its own little niche that, you know, you've had the 5-color Ether Vial version, you've had the 4 to 5-color version Collected Company. It's just a matter of trying to figure out what's the best list for the meta you're in, etc. So I think if you purchase the Humans deck, it's not a horrible decision because you've got so much flexibility, quite frankly. I mean, other than basically pure control, this deck can play almost any style of deck you want in Modern. It can be a combo aggro combo deck, it can be a straight aggro deck, it can be a grindy deck, it can be a Hate Bears deck. That's a lot of flexibility in one archetype. So, alright, I'm going to have to sign off here. I got to get ready for work, got some snow to shovel, etc. Gotta love Midwestern winters, but alas, such as it is. I'm going to have to download this here on Twitch to get it to upload on YouTube, so gotta get that rolling. Hope to catch everyone later. Thanks for hanging out. Hope to catch you soon. Bye for now.